And let's get to the granddaddy. Let's get to the granddaddy of them all. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Man, I'm excited for this fight.
Do you want to just look down the card quickly, see if you see any others, and then go to the
just read out the main card. And
so we've got Jessica I, John Calderwood. Should be interesting.
That's a good one too.
Matt Phillip. Oh, no, give in. That one.
Yeah. Next one. Mariana Rodriguez and Amanda Ribas. Amanda Ribas is a straight up prospect. She's one of the biggest. She's the girl that just beat Paige Van Zandt, right? Fucked her up in the first round.
Yep.
I like her a lot. She might be a superstar.
Watch.
She might be a superstar. She's got a really outgoing personality. She's very bubbly. She's hilarious, and she kicks ass. So, shall we start with Conor and Poirier?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you start, Jake? What do you think? What's your initial thoughts?
I think McGregor. I just think he looks hungry again. By all accounts, what's his coach called? Coach name's
Who? Connor's?
Yeah, Connor's coach.
Owen Roddy's his boxing coach.
Yeah.
John Kavanagh's his
John
coach.
Kavanagh says, he's back, he's hungry, he really, really wants this. All the same old stuff.
They all say that shit, dude.
I'm mainly basing this on the fact that I thought Cerrone had a chance against him and was proven massively wrong within 45 seconds, something like that. And I just think he's too powerful for Poirier. I think Poirier plays into his game too much. Poirier's going to come forward, Poirier's going to throw punches at him, and McGregor's one of the best, if not the best, counter strikers in the game. Yeah, and he's got the power to back it up. So I just
he beat him once.
That way.
Beat him once already.
Yeah. So
I wish we could play that fight. The first 45 seconds of the first fight between Poirier and McGregor was so interesting. If you didn't, I was talking about this yesterday in one of my classes. If you want to know one of the many reasons why Conor McGregor is so fascinating, go and watch the first round. I think it finished in the first round anyway. Maybe the second round, the first fight, I can't remember. But go and watch the first 2 minutes of that fight, right? One of the things that makes Conor McGregor so interesting, and for me, I teach boxing, pure boxing, I teach Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, I teach all of it, right? And so I understand the stylistic differences of the things that you do. Like Conor, for example, he's got a very boxing style. Like, he turns the front toe inward. He has one shoulder very lead forward, right? Traditionally, Muay Thai and kickboxers will be more square, right? Shoulders are sort of square like this. And the reason for that is that it allows me to check kicks, number one. As I turn my lead toe in and I bring my rear shoulder back and my lead shoulder forward, it opens up the angle both for the kick to the body and the kick to the leg. In order to check kicks, I need to be square with you so I can lift up my shin and block it. Now, that is good and it's bad. Boxers do that because it adds length to their punches and allows them to turn their shoulders. If I'm square with you, it's the thing I just talked about, power, how power translates to punching, right? If I'm square, I only have so much rotation on my punch, right? So I'm square. If I fully extend and I turn my back shoulder, I get this much space for the punch, right? I can go from square to rear shoulder being in front. If I'm lead shoulder in front heavy, now when I turn that punch, I'm getting 3 or 4 more inches of travel for that punch, which means it's going to translate to a lot more power, right? And there's also other things like lead hooks that are easier whenever I have my front foot turned in, right? So there's a stylistic advantage to pure boxers doing MMA. The problem is the kicking. Right, the problem is the kicking. It changes everything. You turn your lead toe in, it opens up the body kick, and opens up the leg kick. Now, what makes Conor McGregor's style so interesting is because he's in between a square stance and a sideways stance. If I'm in a sideways stance, it's a pure Taekwondo stance, right? Like, if I'm facing you, my dick is to the wall. Yeah. So I'm purely side, right? Boxing is like in the middle. I'm turning my front toe in at like a 45-degree angle. My lead toe lines up with my rear heel. Right, that's the boxing stance. And in the Muay Thai stance, we totally square up, right? My front knee is pointed to you. My lead toe is pointing pretty much to you. It allows me to lift up my leg to check. Allows me to catch kicks. Allows me to do a lot of stuff. What makes Conor McGregor so fascinating is that he operates from a boxing stance, and he fights like a boxer, but he's also got really good Taekwondo kicks. Yeah. So if you go back and you watch the first round of the fight with Poirier, within the first 30 seconds, he's thrown spinning back kicks, he's thrown hook kicks, he's thrown wheel kicks, he's throwing straight punches, he's throwing side kicks, he's throwing wheel kicks, he's throwing front kicks. The deficiencies that the style of having the lead foot turned in allow are made up for in the fact that he's also can fight from a sideways stance, which not many people can do. Not many people can throw the lead leg side kick. Not many can throw a quick spinning back kick or a hook kick or a wheel kick and have professional level boxing. So that's what makes his style so fascinating, is that he's combining boxing and Taekwondo at a high level, or boxing and karate style kicks at a high level. And it involves a slight variation in stance, and it has a flavor to it that you don't typically see that's uniquely Conor McGregor. And then he finishes Poirier with, of course, the punch, right? With the straight punch. But he hit him with some nasty, within the first 10 seconds, he threw a hook kick.
Yeah.
You know how many people throw hook kicks? Like fucking 0 people throw hook kicks, right? And it was just so fascinating to watch him set up his boxing style left straight while also fighting a southpaw. They're both southpaw, but then having all these spinning techniques, it's just, God, it was one of the things that makes him so fucking fascinating. Plus his power and his gab and his ability to talk and all that kind of stuff. I just watched it like last week, and I'm just like, damn, that is so distinctly Conor McGregor, right? That style.
Yeah, it's interesting though that I've not seen any shit talking or anything yet as well, like, because he's known for that psychological warfare, and it's worked 90% of his career. The 2 times it hasn't was Khabib and Diaz.
Have you noticed it never happened since Khabib?
Yeah.
Never happened. He was super chill to Cerrone. Jose Aldo, he fucking nearly made it.
Jose Aldo's temples throbbing at the start of that fight. He's
everybody,
so
Khabib, the dolly, the insulting his religion, all of the shit, like Chad Mendez, talk mad shit. Everybody talk mad shit, right? Yeah. Ever since Khabib humbled him, he hasn't said shit.
No.
He has not come on that hard ever since.
So it'd be interesting to see, from tomorrow in the build-up to fight week, if he brings out the psychological warfare as well, starts laying in, I've beat you once before.
Well, he's already got the psychological advantage.
Yeah.
Because he beat him the first time. So he's already got the advantage there. Now, if we shift the lens to Poirier a little bit, the thing about Poirier is he's so much better since the first fight. First of all, Poirier has not been finished like that since.
Yeah.
He's extremely durable. He got finished in that fight, but he's really durable. His boxing defense is better now. People that think because of the first fight that Conor's just going to go in and sleep him, you can't say that. And I kind of think of the Nate Diaz fight. If Dustin Poirier proves to be durable enough early, I believe 100% that Dustin Poirier is the grittier fighter. He's willing to go to a darker place. He's in better shape. I 100%. Nobody can tell me that Conor McGregor is tougher than Dustin Poirier. Nobody. He's not. He's not. Conor McGregor quits. Dustin Poirier never quits. You separate him from his consciousness or he's still fighting you. That's it. Conor McGregor has quit. He's tapped. He's run out of gas. He shot in on Nate Diaz after getting tapped out. He took a shot on Nate Diaz? Really? Khabib dropped him. Khabib tapped him with a jaw crank.
Yeah.
Conor could have let his jaw break. He could have. Poirier let his fucking jaw break.
And keep fighting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying Conor McGregor is not tough. That's not true. But in the qualities of cardiovascular fitness and toughness, Poirier wins. He's not as fast twitch as McGregor, though. He's still got a lot of power for that weight class, but he's not as fast twitch. Conor McGregor has proven to have a really solid chin because he's never been finished with strikes. He's been dropped and submitted. Khabib dropped him. Nate Diaz didn't drop. Pretty much dropped him, made him shoot and finished him, right? So, if Dustin Poirier gets out of the second round and Poirier can start to clinch him and start to close the gap and all that kind of stuff, Dustin Poirier can win. He's the tougher fighter. He's the grittier fighter. He's the more in-shape fighter. And he's also the more active fighter. He's not living off hundreds of millions. He doesn't have Conor's money. And it's like what I think it was Holyfield said, if you're sleeping in silk sheets, it's tough to go to that place that you were when you were poor and get Dustin Poirier's got that grit. Conor doesn't. Into the same level. It's not to say he's not gritty, but Conor's finesse. Dustin Poirier's grit. So, to me, it's all about surviving that early onslaught. Conor McGregor only has super amazing flash wins in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
He's won fights late, but it's sketchy, right? Like the second Diaz fight, all of the fights that have gone later have ebbed and flowed, and sometimes Conor's won them. But dude, if he doesn't finish you, he struggles.
Round 3, Conor's seems to his gas tank just seems to empty completely. And then he seems to get it back in round 4 and 5. So
a bit, but he doesn't finish people.
It's not the start of the fight where he can absolutely crack you.
And, in some sense, he's like BJ Penn in that way, right? BJ Penn was always a quick starter. He could still catch you, and he could point you over a long period of time, but he didn't have that finishing power in the 4th and 5th. Dustin Poirier has that late, all throughout the fight. So it's a really fascinating matchup. If I'm Mike Brown, if I'm the head coach of Dustin Poirier, ATT, all I'm trying to do is get Dustin Poirier to the 3rd round.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm clinching him. I'm wearing out his arms. I'm slip clinching. I'm going to shoot for doubles. I'm not trying to necessarily win the first 2. I'll give those away. Let Conor get tired. Even just push him, keep your defense tight, wear his arms out, pin him against the cage. If Dustin Poirier tries to win the fight early, it'll be bad.
Yeah.
As the fight draws on, it's better and better. Then I think Poirier's toughness and grit can show itself. But I don't think it'll be the first fight unless it's the first fight. Unless he catches him in the first round. I don't think it will happen. But if it does, that's, I think, Conor's best chance to win easily. I don't think it will happen like that, although it may.
This is the thing with Conor as well. Like, you just don't know because of what he did to Cowboy in the last fight. Like, I never forget that Eddie Alvarez fight.
Yeah.
Where...
First 2 rounds.
Eddie
first
Alvarez.
2 rounds. Donald Cerrone. When he beat Poirier, when he beat all these people, it happened early.
Yep.
It happened early, right?
And can he do that to Poirier is the question, I suppose. And you've got to say, well, yeah, he can. I'm not saying he's going to, but he definitely can.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he certainly
can.
And
then if that happens...
He certainly can. This
over.
is why this fight, in my opinion, comes down to tactics, which is not a fucking, spoiler alert, winning a fight comes down to tactics, right? I mean, it doesn't take a fucking genius to figure that out. But I mean, if I'm Mike Brown, if I'm Dustin Poirier, you just have to get him out of the first round, out of the first half of the second round. He has to be very calculating with his aggression because Conor is going to he's going to do what he's going to shuffle forward. He's going to take the middle of the octagon. His hands are going to be low. He's going to be doing this. He's going to be telling him to come on. Poirier can't bite on that shit. He can't bite on that shit.
And this is why the psychological warfare might start this week in the presses and stuff like that.
Yeah, if I'm Conor, that's what I'm
doing. Wants him to come forward.
Absolutely. If I'm Conor, that's what I'm doing. Try to goad him in, right? He stands better chances of winning the more that happens. And we'll just quickly throw in the fact that...
just a little fight on the card there, just the co-main that they stuck in cheekily. Are we on about now?
Yeah. Well, and one more thing on the Poirier McGregor fight is just that whoever wins this fight will likely be facing Khabib next. Because Dana White's already said, basically the news has been Dana White and Khabib met. They're going to watch the fight if some crazy shit happens, if it's enough worth bringing him back. But the fact that he's even willing to have that conversation and go there suggests to me that this fight is going to happen. Khabib wants 30-0, not 29-0.
Do you think potentially, though, like say Poirier wins? Because if McGregor wins, then I reckon Khabib's just going to come back.
If Poirier finishes Conor.
You think then Khabib will come back?
That's what I mean. If it's kind of a dull affair and one guy edges the other, maybe Khabib's like, fuck it. If either one of them finishes the other one, or it's a really amazing fight, Khabib will come back. But let's say Poirier edges Conor, and the fight's blah, like, you know, Khabib fucked him up. He fucked them both up.
Yeah.
He fucked them both up. But if
think
it's dramatic...
I think if Conor wins, even if it's a shit fight, you're Khabib, how much money are you going to make off that? And you're going to be entirely confident you've got him beat.
Yes.
You're going to come back.
I will say that I think the Conor fight is more difficult for Khabib in terms of styles. But I mean, either way, whoever wins has their work cut out for them, because Khabib is still the man. He's the fucking man. Everyone else is just playing catch up, right?